Good evening, Miss Kemi. Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Awesome. Hi.
How are you?
Very well. A bit tired. I'm good.
I hope you get to rest after the program and rest a bit
I'll try. I've had
this
a long
weekend.
day. Hopefully,
Before
the
we
weekend is
start,
over.
sorry,
Yes.
the weekend
I
is
said the
what?
weekend is over already.
Well, true. Well, it's 1 p.m. my time now. So
Oh, okay.
after I say, oh, this weekend. Oh, that's true. It's already
Okay.
evening your
Yes,
time.
I'm here. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. First of all, before we even start, thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. Thank you. Thank you. I
Yeah,
know
well,
that sometimes it can be so difficult having to talk about it over and over and over and over again, but
yeah.
um, the joy for me in all of this is even as painful as it is, still being able to help other people going through what
Yeah.
it is that we've been through, So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Yeah.
joy in all of this for me. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for
Welcome.
doing this with me. So I'm just going to basically you're going to have the floor, right? So
Okay.
we're just going to talk about your brother. We're going to talk about the foundation. We're going to talk about the roots, the beginning. How did this start?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So your brother, his diagnosis, what you went
Yeah.
through and how you came out of it, how you were able to heal from it, right? Just
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because a lot of times we deal with things and we just think it's life that is happening. We don't really understand the effect that it has on us
Yeah.
emotionally, mentally. We just think, oh, yeah, I lost someone, that's it.
Yeah.
So I've had people that have recently gone through loss or they just lost someone and they just think, oh, it will pass. After the funeral, I'll be fine. Not knowing that there's still work that you need to do to be able to
Yeah.
actually be fine. All right, so I would give you the floor. So tell us what's your name, what do you do, how did this come about?
Okay. Okay. So, my name is Kemi Adekonye. Um, um, okay. Am I supposed to talk about my personal self or are we going straight into the foundation?
No, we're talking about Kemi first because something made
Okay.
Kemi become who Kemi is today. So we're starting from there first.
Okay. Kemi, I'm an administrator. I work in the power sector. I've got two biological children and five adopted children.
Oh, wow.
Um, yes, I love children. Growing up, my mom had so many adopted children. I used to think, why the hell is she adopting so many children? But as I've grown older, I have told that same line. Yes, so I have quite a number of adopted children. Um, what else do I need to talk about myself? Okay, yeah, I did say I work in the power sector, and on the side, or almost full time, I run the Okapi Children Cancer Foundation, which was formed after the death of my brother, who was known as Okapi. His real name was Tunde Ogungbayi.
All right.
Yeah, and one thing people always think people think he was a child. No, he's not. He wasn't a child because obviously we're dealing with children. And I'll just give you a little background story. So Okapi was diagnosed with cancer in August 2016, and he was basically diagnosed at stage 4
Oh, wow.
because because he had this cough for like a year and he was treating with cough syrups and antibiotics and all of that. And eventually he decided to go into the hospital and they told him it was pneumonia. He had some procedure, had some more antibiotics, it still wasn't going. By the next time he went back, probably sometime in September, he was told it was cancer. And at that time was practically stage 4. So during the course of his treatment, he met this little boy, maybe about 7, 8, and he was probably in one of his very down. Obviously, cancer is not an easy diagnosis for anybody, so probably a self-pity state, and the little boy, got talking to him and said, oh, I've been given maybe 2 months to live, but I think I've lived a good life. And he thought, how can this little boy think he has lived a good life at just 7 or 8? And he was just really inspired by that boy, thinking the boy has practically accepted, his diagnosis, is accepted an impending death, sort of, and he was there lamenting, thinking he was going to take care of his children, he was going to take care of his wife, and all of that. So we got talking about this little boy. And at that time, this was 2016, at that time, I didn't know childhood cancer existed, So I said to him, I've never seen a child with cancer, and I don't think children in Nigeria have cancer, because he lived in UK, So I said to him, it's probably an Oyinbo thing. And he said, no, he doesn't think so. He thinks that because since he met that child, he started searching and doing investigations and all that. So he gave me an assignment, basically. He said to go to a hospital here and basically find out if there were children with cancer. I was reluctant, to be honest, because I didn't believe him. I thought, children with cancer, how? Like, in my head at that time, cancer was like for the elderly. Even I felt my brother was too young because he was 50. He was an athlete, he was a vegetarian, he was so healthy. So in my mind, I thought he was definitely too young to have cancer. I talked less of children younger. Anyway, reluctantly, after a few months, I think in January, yeah. So I took a friend of mine, Ngozi, went to National Hospital here in Abuja and managed to locate the pediatric oncology ward, and the ward was full. Like all sorts of different cancers, all sorts of different, so many issues. And so I went back to him and said, man, children have cancer and it's crazy. That day, my first experience in a hospital, obviously I was meant to go like give them hope, sort of, but I found out well, I cried so badly that parents were even consoling me, parents of children with cancer were even consoling me. So I went back to my brother and obviously told him, there are loads of children. I met about 8 or 9 children with cancer. Also, I described it to him. So he gave me, so I was saying to him, I wish I had money to give them, because they just look like they come from like really low backgrounds and all of that. He gave me 100,000 and said, I'll have something, it just might give them hope. So I took that 100,000 back to the hospital, maybe about 2 weeks later. And I got back again with my friend, and half of the children were gone. Like half of the children had died in the space of 2 weeks. There was a particular parent, who was practically, well, obviously he knew we came to give out some money, and we're thinking, okay, we had spoken to hospital management. We thought, okay, let's just give it to those who are still here. And the man called us to the side and said his child passed maybe a few days ago, and he needed money to actually get the body of his child from the morgue in the hospital. And that for me it was just, I just couldn't fathom it. That's the truth. Anyway, we gave him money, and from there, life just wasn't the same. I knew that 10,000, 20,000 didn't even cut it for those children and their families. It wouldn't even do anything considering the cost of cancer, And basically, so I started having sleepless nights, let me put it that way. I started going around to people, give me 1,000, give me 2,000. I need to help this child, I need to help this family. So it became like a life mission for me. And sadly, my brother died in 2017, which was roughly about 9 months after his diagnosis. And at that time, obviously we hadn't even started foundation. It was just me just begging people 1,000, 2,000, whatever I have, I take to the hospital, buy a child lunch, or, just something. It wasn't organized. I didn't start up thinking I wanted to set up a foundation. It was just me just trying to help as little as I can. And basically that's how we started, 1,000, 2,000 here. We just started doing it like that, started giving out money. My circle of friends became bigger. More people wanted to help, more people wanted to support. And that's just basically how it started. So when we started, we were called Friends for a Cause. We're about 6, 7 of us then, like just a
Wait,
group of
wait,
friends.
wait. Let's backtrack a bit, right? Before we get into all like the foundation
Yeah.
proper, right? So, as an individual, as Kemi,
Yeah.
when your brother passed, what did that experience? Well, how did that experience impact you personally? So
Okay.
apart from the foundation, how did that
Yeah.
impact you personally?
Personally, honestly, at that time, I had issues with God.
Mm,
Like, I just could not believe it.
mm,
I just thought this guy, he was a good guy. I know he's my brother. I don't.
mm.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can't believe I'm still crying after 6 years.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
Um, okay, so I
Take
just
your
felt
time.
like
Take your time. No rush. Take your
if I take my time, I'm gonna be here 1 hour crying.
time.
um, yeah, so I felt like God failed me. That's the
Mm,
truth. I felt like because I prayed, like I prayed, I fasted, I practically became a Muslim, by the way. But at that point, if anybody had told me to go to one babalawo or one pastor or one whatever, I would have done it. Honestly, it was that bad, because I just couldn't believe he was gonna die. He was an athlete. I'll probably share pictures with you later. He was a triathlon. He ran marathons. He was so fit. At 50, he looked so good. He didn't eat red meat. He didn't drink alcohol. He always used to joke that if something would kill him, it should be HIV and not cancer because he liked women. you know. So he lived a very healthy life. So at the
mm,
point of his diagnosis, it was honestly like a joke to me initially. It was a joke. It was unbelievable. And gradually he started deteriorating. He wasn't the same person. He wasn't, obviously cancer changes how you look,
mhm,
changes how you think, it changes practically everything about you. Even after he died, I couldn't look at pictures of him for a
mm,
very long time because of the way he had changed, the way he had transformed. I kept all our messages because obviously he didn't sleep much. So I used to keep chats and all that. Sadly, I lost that phone and I lost all the messages. And,
mm,
I was keeping it to read at a time when I feel better. At some point, I was suicidal. I honestly could not. I didn't handle it well. Let me put it that way. I didn't handle it well at all. And I don't know. Some people say if he didn't die, maybe I probably wouldn't have started the foundation, wouldn't have been helping children. I don't know. I still don't think he had to die. That's the truth. I still don't
mhm,
think he had to die. I still feel like, um, oh God, I still feel like there was probably,
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. It's okay. It's okay. The truth is that I've seen that it does. I'm not sure it really gets easier. You just
Mm-mm.
learn to cope with it. So
Yeah,
I think you just
sometimes
learn
it's
to cope with it.
sometimes I think it's easy. Sometimes I think I'm over it.
Yep.
I but every time I talk about it in this type of,
Yeah.
setting,
Mm-hmm.
it just hits me again.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it gets easier because I don't know, it just makes me question. I don't, the way Nigerians say, I don't want God to slap me, but it makes me question God sometimes, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. It does make me question God, but I try to put that at the back of my mind and
Mm-hmm.
just focus on doing other things, focus on the foundation, focus on other things in life. I honestly try not to think about him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dwell on him, that's the truth. So except like I'm talking about, even though I do everything a capi, like I'm wearing an Okapi shirt right now. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, I still don't even doing Okapi. I don't think about him like that anymore. But when I talk about it, I know it doesn't get better. That's the
It does,
truth.
no, so one of the mindset that helps me deal with the loss of my son is that don't let what you don't know affect what you know, right?
Mm,
How? So you go to the hospital, um, are there malaria patients that they treat with normal malaria drugs that still pass? But that wouldn't mean the doctors will stop treating malaria, that these medications don't work,
exactly.
right? So
Yeah.
some will work. Some, even this cancer that we're talking about, there are still some people that get well with the same medications, right? With the same chemo, same everything, and they make it, and some
Mm,
don't. So they won't say, "Oh, we will not treat cancer anymore because it doesn't work,"
yeah.
right? Um, one of my mentors would say they will call it an isolated case, right? So in
Mm,
everything, we know that God is still God, right? It doesn't mean He loves us less. It doesn't mean anything. So it's like, don't let what you don't know affect
yeah.
what you know, right? There are
Mhm.
so many questions I will never have answers to. My
True.
daughter, I picked her up from school yesterday. She was like, "Oh, mommy, I cried today in school." Ah, what happened?
Yeah.
So apparently they did a poem, and was about a coach, that
Yeah.
a sports coach that was, coaching his kids, and the guy was teaching them how to dunk. It was basketball, and the guy dunked, heart attack, bam, fell on the floor and just died. So the boys had tried to do CPR on him and everything, but
Yeah.
he didn't make it, and that just triggered her. So she's like, oh, she just excused herself, went to the restroom, she cried, cleaned up her face, came out again. So I was just encouraging her, well done. I was just, encouraging her and stuff, because
Yeah.
it affects us in more ways than we know, emotionally in every aspect. But learning to cope the
Yeah.
right way is what we were all about now. And things, so it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. What's the right way to cope though? I don't know if there's a I tend to generally with life, with anything, people that know me will probably say I joke a lot. I joke about everything and anything. It's probably a defense mechanism not to feel,
Hmm.
because I feel like that's the only way I could go through what I've been through, go through. By the way, my dad died of cancer, my mom died of cancer. So cancer is something that is so personal to me. But I don't
Mm.
think about
Oh,
it. I
wow.
don't dwell on it. I just move on. I do my checks, I do my tests, but I don't dwell on it. I don't know if I'm dealing with it the right way because I'm thinking, why am I still crying after 6, 7 years? So it's probably something I have buried deep within me and comes out when you press the right
No, so
triggers.
so with this, right, so the
Mm,
thing is, we would always be triggered. So when we're talking about healing, talking about all of these things, right, you would always be triggered. But what happens is you would have the right tools to deal with it the right way. So it's just
mm,
like saying that, oh, you're a Christian. Does that mean you will not have problems in life? Does that mean things will not happen to you? No, but you know that God is going to take you through it. Do you understand? That's what it
yeah.
is. That's yeah,
Mm,
that's what it is. There's really in when it comes to grief, there is a cycle that we must complete. Right? There's
mm,
no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just
yeah.
dwelling on it. Here's the thing, right? When you think, I
Mm,
think it was my last session I was talking about it, that as human beings, we are meaning making machines.
yeah.
You are designed to make meanings of everything that you go through. The only way to change your life or to change your situation is to change the meaning that you're attaching to that problem or that instance or that whatever it is you are going through.
Yeah.
If you change the meaning, you will change the way that thing affects you. Do you understand?
Mm,
So for me,
yeah.
with the loss of my son, my book isn't here. I wrote new meanings. I gave it
Wow.
new meanings. My
Wow.
son died, but this version of me came out. The
Mm,
me that you are talking to now, if my son did not die, this person will not have come out. This
yeah.
person I
Yeah.
did not even know was there. I didn't even
Mm,
know there was this side of me, right?
mm,
Do you understand? So the healing journey, the everything that I have been through, the person that I am now, my
mhm,
friends always tell me that, the Tanika they know now is definitely not the ones they've known since, because I'm a
yeah.
totally different person. But if this thing did not happen to me, this side wouldn't happen. So, just it's called reframing. Just we're going to just change how we're thinking of. So it's not, oh, so for me now, it's not, oh, my son has died. If my son did
Yeah.
not die now, my life will not. So when I moved, when my son was diagnosed, the doctor said, oh, if you guys can fly him out of the country, it's better. You would have a higher chance, because his own type of cancer was a rare type of pediatric cancer. It's rhabdomyosarcoma. It's a very rare one, and his own it happened in his bladder, right, bladder muscle. So we had to fly him out, and that's how we moved to the US. So first of all, it's impromptu move that we did not even plan or know of. I literally packed my bags thinking I'll be back in a month or two. 4 years after, I'm still here, right? I moved. I got to a new country. We didn't know anybody. Then I found out that I was pregnant. So with dealing with my son and getting to the US, we had done surgery in Nigeria. We had done everything. We moved here and they said, oh, it's stage 4. Meanwhile, they had done surgery in Nigeria to remove everything. We got back here in less than a month or two, the tumors were back again.
Wow.
Right. So it was a very gloomy story, and I'm just going to spare all of the details, right? But so I could sit down and say, so first of all, I had to stop working. I was literally at the mercy of people, waiting for people to send me stuff. Me that I would work, I would do everything myself. I literally had to, start doing a lot of things, and people were helping and stuff. I could sit down. So here's the thing: the meaning that we give to things and situations, right? There's no right or wrong. There's just empowering and disempowering.
Yeah.
So I can decide to think of it in a way that would empower me. Do you know the millions of children that you are saving now and that you are helping now? If you hold on to that meaning, if you hold on to that thought, if that is the mindset that you want to have now. So you've lost a brother, but you are helping other siblings gain their siblings back, whether brother or sister. So the ones that are able to survive because of the impact of your foundation. My son's journey when he was diagnosed, we started at Luth before we could travel.
Okay.
These children. First of all, I didn't even know there was anything. I didn't even think children used to have cancer, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then we got to Luth, and chemo is so expensive. So the
True.
ones that could not even afford treatment, like my siblings now started gathering money for other patients in the
Wow.
ward. We were now
Yeah.
gathering money to help other
Yeah.
people. The ones that the father of the child has abandoned the mother because of the
Exactly.
child. So it's
Yeah.
now the mother alone juggling that child and other kids, all of those things. So it's the
Yeah.
number of people that you're able to help. Now, if you look, so the thing is, the way I'm thinking about it, right? When I think about it that way or not, my son is not going to come back, unfortunately. But I can either look at it in a way that would empower me, that I can now help other people going through it,
Yeah.
and that will help me find joy and purpose. So for me, what drives me is my son's death it must not be in vain.
Amen.
That's my driving force. Everything I
Yeah.
do, that is what I have at the back of my head.
Wow.
So I lost a child, but the women that I'm going to help to recover their marriages, the women I'm going to help to be better moms, better this, better that, their children will thank them for it, and everything will still
Yeah.
boil down to faith.
Exactly.
Do you
Exactly.
understand? Those are ways, those
Yeah.
are empowering ways to look at it. Those are tools that you can use to deal with this thing, right?
Yeah.
Um, as a child of God now, we've seen, okay, we understand that there are patterns, there are family patterns, there are things that the mindset I have now and the way I help people as well. There are
Yeah.
ways I think about it that somebody had this, somebody had this, somebody had this. For me, I cannot have it because I know who I am.
Yeah.
Because when we say generational this, generational that, sometimes it's a thing, it's a knowledge thing. And once
Yeah.
we're able to deal with it and capture it first, then it's lack of knowledge. I feel like what I
Yeah.
know, my son would probably not even have died if I had known this before he died.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Wow.
So it's a place of empowerment that so it's like even your relationship with God changes when you go on this healing journey, because it's like, sorry, I'm talking too much. Let's go. But do you
No, no.
understand what I'm saying? So it's
Yes. I actually need this. Yeah.
yeah. So think, I'll just flip. We're just going to reframe how we're looking at the situation and flip in a way that would now empower you, that would drive you to become. That's how purpose is. That's how purpose is, bro. That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's how
I
possible
do,
is
I
that.
do, I do understand what you're saying, and I do understand and recognize that, like you said, his death has made me who I am today. Before 2016, I would have never thought of setting up an NGO. I would have never thought of children with cancer. I would have never, probably, I wouldn't be this sympathetic towards children with
Mm,
cancer. So this has, okay, for example, like, okay, we set up a charity shop every weekend at Jabi Lake Mall, and obviously we're telling people to come and support, and some people just walk by. I would have been one of those people, to be honest with you, if I
mm.
didn't go through this, because they cannot relate to what we're saying. They don't have a child that has cancer. They've probably never met a child with
Anybody?
cancer.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot relate to what we're talking about. And, some people just even brush you off. Some people even, hiss or whatever. I don't take it personally. I know that I could have been that person, even
Mm-hmm.
with, for example, even with volunteering, I could have probably said, okay, I want to volunteer with something else or in another cause if I hadn't gone through what I had been through. So I do recognize about that. But at the same time, I still feel like God could have done it a different way.
So
You know,
remember,
mm,
don't let what you don't know affect
mhm,
what you know.
mm,
Remember, how you think about it can either empower you or disempower you.
yeah,
Because we want to talk about this and laugh.
mm, yeah.
I've held on to that thing you said, that he said if
Mm.
anything will kill him, it will be HIV, not cancer. That's the version of him that I want us to remember.
Oh, he was funny. He
Do you
was so humorous.
understand?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to talk about him and laugh.
Yeah.
Hear me
Hmm.
that is talking now. If this thing
Mm,
did not happen, you probably this side of you probably not come out.
I know. I
And this
know.
side of you is amazing because like the things you are doing, the families that you are helping, you're putting
Yeah.
smiles, even though they are still going through this pain, they are still able to smile because when people are diagnosed with things, the first
Yeah.
main thing that even destroys them more than the sickness or diagnosis in themselves is the finances. Where am I going to
True.
get money for this from?
100.
How
Yeah.
am I going? Where?
Hmm.
When
It's
we
it's
moved
it's
here,
it's
one of the doctors here
ridiculous.
said to us that no matter
Mm.
how rich you guys think you are in Nigeria, you would never
Hmm.
be able to afford cancer treatment here.
Wow.
When he was trying
Wow.
to, tell us to go get help,
Mm.
get people to,
Yeah.
but it's like no matter how rich you think you are,
Mm.
cancer treatment will drain you. It's not a joke. It's not a walk in the
It's
park.
not. It's not. It's not.
So you can imagine the families that, thanks to your foundation,
Mm.
even though they
Mm.
are still going through the emotional pain, going through the physical pain for the patients and everything, that headache
Mm.
is sort of off them. They are
Yeah.
relieved a bit. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
We want to
I
hold
know.
on to that.
I understand that. Yeah. Okay. Like I think sometime last week we went to one of the hospitals we work
Mhm.
with, Federal Medical Center, and the doctor was saying that, to be honest, the parents just have to worry about praying for their children because the finances is practically taken care of. And I was glad to hear it. You
Mhm.
know, it was a huge relief for me that, at least we're giving them one less thing to worry about.
Exactly.
They could worry about the prayers and emotional, even though we still provide some emotional support. But at least if we're able to take out the financial burden of cancer off them, I think that made me feel good. I was
Mhm.
quite glad to hear that. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was
So
glad
that's
to hear
that's that's a very good way to look at it. That's a very good way to look at it.
but it still
So at what
doesn't.
point, my next question now is like, at what point did you decide to turn this your grief into advocacy? Like, so I know that you did mention that what inspired you to start was, your brother talking about the child he met and stuff. But at what
Mhm.
point did you decide to channel that your grief into that?
Honestly, I don't know when exactly, but I know from the first moment I walked into National Hospital, my life hasn't remained the same. So
Mm,
it's just been one thing. I just haven't. There are times when I feel like, no, I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. And, you're trying your best. Children are still dying. And initially, I had a personal relationship with most of the children. I'll go to the hospital, sit by their bedside, buy them lunch, buy them books. But at a point, I had to stop it for my mental health. I feel like I was absolutely going insane. Let me put it that way. We lost so
Mm,
many children I had become close to, children that couldn't go a week without talking to me, even though I wasn't related to them at all. And I had to stop that, just so that we could continue. Well, it took a lot. It took a lot of people talking to me on the side and trying to pull me out of the hole I was digging, for myself and all of that. So I don't know at what point I decided to start the foundation. I just haven't looked back from that first day. And we just kept going, to be honest. We just keep coming up with different ideas to help. We have a team of about 82 volunteers now,
oh wow.
and so many supporters. Like last year, we raised about 15 million, and it's just through
Wow.
individual support. Yeah, just friends here, somebody telling somebody, nothing. We don't have any government support or international grants or anything. It's just by talking to people. So I feel like it has grown. We have evolved. We're
Mm,
not. We're just taking it one day at a time, taking it one day at a
mm,
time, how best we could obviously help these children. And it's good that we're seeing more survivors now. We're seeing more children actually beat the disease now, maybe increase awareness, obviously, and access to funds. Obviously, we wish we could do more, but
mm.
we're doing the best we can at the moment.
Nice. That's amazing. So, but what's the biggest challenge that you faced, with the foundation?
Um,
And if you
Obviously,
haven't, the ones you've overcome, how are you able to overcome it? The ones you haven't, like, how what are
I
the
think
challenges?
biggest challenge, apart from we'll talk about finances later, obviously that's an obvious challenge. But the biggest challenge would be the awareness. I think I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing, we still have the God forbid attitude to cancer. In the early days when I used to go to the hospital a lot and talk to parents, there were so many times we had to beg parents to actually continue the treatment. Many times we had to beg parents to even accept the diagnosis. It's like, no, there's no cancer in my family, God forbid, blah, 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 and all of that. I would keep saying, yeah, there's the God factor, but you still need to start treatment. You still need to
Mm,
go to the hospital. You still need to, so that's a big challenge for us. And most times they take the child out of hospital. By the time they come back, the child's in a bad state. The child is in a really, really bad state. And there are some that don't even go into hospital at all. You know, there's a lump somewhere. They start treating with ori and palm oil and this and that. And, by the time they get into the hospital, it's late. And of course, at that time, maybe something that could have been treated with 1 million, we're looking at now. So for us, I feel like the awareness is really huge. Awareness in terms of parents of children who have cancer. And also, obviously, on the financial aspect, I did mention we basically seek donations from individuals, some corporate organizations, and all of that. A lot of people do not still understand the concept of, will I say, giving or selflessness.
mm,
And because maybe they haven't had any run-ins with cancer or they haven't had to deal with cancer. Okay, today, so at the mall when we went today, someone said, I don't trust NGOs in Nigeria. That's also an issue. So
mm,
they think, oh, we're going to use the money to live a lavish life, or, people don't really understand the impact if they haven't actually been in that situation. So that's a big issue for us, which we're trying to deal with. So we do lots of awareness campaigns. We're going to communities, we're going to schools, and just try and educate people. Childhood cancer exists. Children with cancer need help. You need to support, even though you don't have a child that has cancer, even though you've never seen a child that has cancer, you still need to key into it and support as much as you can, because you may not. I saw a quote one day that says, "You don't know about childhood cancer, but not for long."
Mm.
because somehow you'll find out. Sadly, that's the truth. You know, and I said the God forbid aspect. Well, if my child today has cancer, God forbid, I'll probably sell everything I have. And that's me that is working. And I think I'm doing quite okay, but the financial
Mm-hmm.
cost of treating cancer in Nigeria is ridiculously crazy. It's ridiculous. So every penny counts. In Nigeria, it's as bad as, obviously you lived here before, even cotton wool, even a syringe, the child needs to buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need every penny. And at the same time, you then have other children at home that you need to care for. So sometimes we have some parents saying they're going to leave this child and concentrate on the other ones at home.
Around
Yeah,
Jesus.
we've heard that as well. So it now becomes a case of trying to beg, trying to, there's so many issues. There's so many issues
Mm. Wow.
issue
Wow.
at the time, and try and help as many children as we can.
Right. So
Yeah.
looking back on your journey now, right? Do you feel like your work, what you do with the foundation, do you think it has changed you personally?
Sorry?
Do you think, looking back at your journey now, right? Do you feel like what you are doing now with the foundation has changed you personally in any way?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I feel like it's made me stronger, definitely. Even though I still broke down crying now, but it has made me stronger. It has made me more resilient. It has made me think more in terms of strategies, in terms of how could we do things better, how could we help more children, how could we manage the resources we have. It's helped me in every aspect. It's helped me to be more grateful. It's helped me to be grateful for life, for my children, for health. Sometimes my children are being very naughty, and I think, thank God, at least they could be naughty. It's that simple for me now. It's that simple. I'm just grateful for every minute, every second, and yeah, I think that's the biggest thing it's done for me.
Okay. So thank you. For everyone watching, I don't know if you noticed what I did with Kemi there and Kemi's reaction and her
Yeah.
facial expressions and the life that came out of her when she was talking about how she has grown personally and the good side of this seemingly bad
Mm.
situation. Right. If you remember when she was talking about how it weighs her down and she tries not to talk about it, and even when she burst into tears, you see that it's the same thing we're talking about. It's the same situation, the loss of her brother, right? But see how one question brought her down. The way she was thinking about it, see how it brought her down. See the way another question, an empowering question, bringing out the good side of that same situation, see how it lit her up. I did that for everyone to see because it was clear the way you were talking about it and going so that's the difference, right? It's I remember it's either empowering or disempowering, and that life you have you can do it with yourself as well, to just
Yeah,
bring out that side of you. Yes, I hope that helped you to share.
it did. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you.
So for before we go so with your
Hmm.
hopes for the future for the foundation, how can we get involved? How can people support this cause?
Okay, so we have quite a number of initiatives which we have started to support children. We have, I did mention earlier, we have the charity shop. So basically, instead of just asking for a donation, which some people will gladly give, for every donation you give us, we give you a gift item. So, for example, we have pens, just simple everyday stuff: pens, t-shirts, face caps, notebooks. That's one face cap here. So we have some
Oh,
really
that's
nice,
nice.
yeah, that's nice. So we have some really nice stuff in our charity shop. So say for example, on a normal day, you'll probably buy this face cap in the shop, maybe 5,000. We'll sell it for you 6,000, 7,000. So that extra on top of it is what we put together to pay the medical bills. So basically, that's an initiative we've come up with. Just instead of asking people for money all the time, so we basically give you something in return. So we have the charity shop on our website, and of course, for
What's your
corporate
website?
organizations, www.okapiccf.com.
Please spell a copy for me. Mhm. Okay.
OKAPICCF.com.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So drop that in. Okay. All right. So someone is asking that were you and your brother the only kids? If
No, we
no,
were not.
okay.
Thank you.
So it's how are your other siblings or family members involved? Have you had to deal with any pushback or issues with family?
No, I haven't dealt with any pushback from family. So we were seven of us from my mom, and he was the second. I was the second to the last. But we were really, really very close. We're like the closest in the family. And I lived with him for a couple of years while I was studying in the UK. So, yeah, so we became really close. And of course, with his diagnosis as well, we became even closer. We have some family members who are part of the foundation. His widow is part of the foundation. Then our first brother is also part of the foundation, like he's on the board of trustees. And of course, everybody else has been really supportive. Everybody else has been very supportive. I haven't had any pushbacks now.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask so we can answer your questions. If you have questions for Kemi, if you have for me, please feel free to drop and then I would read it and um, share. So Kemi, my next question for you is with your faith. Like, how's your faith or relationship with God played a role in your journey through grief and your work on the
Mm.
foundation?
Okay. Um, I did say I was angry with God.
Mhm.
I'm not sure how to answer this, to be honest. Um, I think we're cool now. Let's just put it that way. I think we're cool now. I think I'm trying not to sound like an unbeliever. I'm trying to. No, I think I'm starting to trust a bit more. I know I could be better. My relationship with God could be better, but I think I'm better than where I was 6 years ago. I'm not where I should be. I'm not where I should be. I'm not where I want to be. And I'm not sure if it's because of what happened then, you know. But yeah, I think I could be better. That's the only way I could explain it right now. Yeah.
I think we're all right where we should be, though. We're all right where we should be with the level of
Mm,
knowledge and everything that we know. We are always right where we should be. But things would only change when you now put in whatever measures it is that you need to put in. But
mm.
where right where you should be right now is where you are. Trust me.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's comforting.
Where
I
you
just
are
feel
where you should be.
because obviously I'm Muslim. Anybody seeing me probably will not assume I'm Muslim. Obviously, I didn't cover my hair. I've got nails on, and all of that. So that's so I have that issue with maybe the outlook of being a Muslim. But in my head, I know that I do trust God. I know I do believe in God and all of that. But I just feel like I could be a better Muslim. Let me just put it that way.
Mm.
And I think I'm working towards it.
So here's the thing: when you realize that and you put in the work, so that's what I was saying. Like, so when you realize that this, some
Yeah.
people don't even realize. Some people think they're like so.
Mm,
It's
mm,
good.
yeah.
It's good.
Thank you.
So for the foundation, so I'm going back to the foundation now, right? So what are your hopes and dreams for the future for the foundation?
Oh, I honestly hope we could do more. I hope we could help more children. I hope we could save more children. I hope we could get to a point where no child dies from cancer because of lack of funds. It
Hmm.
should be because of something else. It shouldn't be because of late presentation to hospital. We're hoping we can increase chances of survival by increasing the timing in which children get to the hospital. We don't want children to get to the hospital late. We cannot wish cancer away. We cannot stop cancer. But while it's happening, we don't want children to die from cancer. That's just my only hope. I don't
Hmm.
want a child to die from cancer because of some 100,000. Do you understand?
Hmm.
And we're also currently working with hospitals just in Abuja. We're hoping we can expand because we get so many requests, from Benue, from Lagos, from everywhere. And there's only so much we can do, So we're currently limited to Abuja. I'm hoping we could expand to, I know it's ambitious, yeah, but I'm hoping we could expand to all the states in Nigeria, at least in one in each geopolitical zone. Yeah. That's my hope. That's my wish.
Well, that's very
Amen.
possible, right?
I know. I know. I
So it's
know.
not, it's not,
I
it's
think
not,
we'll get
it's very
there. I
possible.
think we'll get there. Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
possible.
Thank
What do
you.
you think your brother would say about the work you're doing now?
He'll probably fresh. I came so. Yeah, that's what he used to call me. Like he comes into the house, he shouted from he came so. I think he'll be proud of me. Yeah. I'm
You're doing
sorry.
an amazing job, Kemi. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job. When someone told me about your foundation, I'm like, nope, I have to find this babe because what you're you're a lot stronger than you actually think. That's the thing, because this thing that you're doing, oh my goodness. Maybe because I've seen it and I've tasted it firsthand as a parent, and then with what you are doing. So do you know it's just now I'm finding out your brother was not a child.
Yeah. He's an
Like I always
adult.
thought it was like
Was a child.
I always thought it was a child.
Mm.
Wow, that's
He
powerful.
was older than I am.
Well done.
Thank you.
Also,
Thank
there
you
are
so
comments
much.
here people saying well done to you,
Thank you.
thanking you for the work that you do. Thank you, Mama, for the love you show to these kids. Thank you. Well done. Well done. Like, this is it's a very big deal. It's not something that you just say, oh, I'm doing. Like, not everybody can do it. A lot of people have lost their siblings, children, spouses, and they're not able to do this work that you are doing. And you still have so tell us about your family, right? How has all of this affected your relationship with your kids, your spouse?
Sorry?
So with what you're
I
doing with the
lost you for a
foundation,
bit.
can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you?
I can't hear you anymore. I don't know if it's. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everyone hear me? I don't know if is
Hello?
this me? I can hear you. Can everyone hear me?
Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you and you look frozen. I don't know if it's from my
Oh,
end.
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you now. I think you're back now.
Oh, okay. You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. On Instagram, they were saying they could hear both of us. Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
So I was asking about your drive for the foundation. The efforts you're putting into the foundation. So I was asking about your family. Like I know you have kids and you're married. And you're also a career person. How have you been able to merge all of this? Because I know that this alone will take a toll. How are you able
Okay.
to balance it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm divorced.
Okay.
I got divorced after my brother died. I don't think it was related though, but maybe possibly because I know at the time my brother died, that was almost around the same time where my marriage was breaking up. So I couldn't even find comfort in my husband. So anyway, so I'm divorced, but my children, I think they're good. They participate in events. I took one of them out to the charity shop event. Yeah, she's always brilliant. I think they understand. They understand. They never met him. They never met him, but they do understand what we're doing, and they're quite happy to they can. In terms of my job, it's a bit tasking because, to be honest with you, I think I spend maybe 80% doing a copy work. I hope my boss won't see this, but I spend about 80% of my time. So I basically do this full time because there's so much to be done. There's so much administrative work as well to be done. There's so much advocacy, and it's not just the fundraising alone. So yeah, it's a lot, to be honest. It's a bit tasking sometimes when I think about it. Taking care of children single-handedly. I've got a full-time job and I have this full-time as well, but it's been good. I think it helps me not to think, and it helps me not break down when I'm busy. So yeah, that's good. Mm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Okay, I think my running about, so we have like what, 7 minutes to go. But so my last question is, what advice would you have for someone who wants to start their own foundational advocacy work?
Um, I'm probably not the best person to give advice on that because, like I said, I was I was thrown into it. But the only thing I can say is, I think passion is the most important ingredient. Because it's not easy, it's hard. So if you're not passionate about whatever course or whatever, intervention you want to put yourself into, you burn out, you give up, you would, like I said, there were so many times even I wanted to give up myself. And I have a strong support system of friends and family, and they keep me going. Like sometimes I say to myself, if I say I want to give up now, what happens to all the volunteers who have sacrificed their time? And so you need to have a strong support system. You need to believe in yourself, and obviously you need people to believe in you as well. At least your immediate friends and family. I think that's the most advice I could give. Be passionate about whatever it is. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tinuke.
Kemi,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
so much for your time. Thank you for, and like I said in the beginning, I know this is hard and having to, talk about him and everything. I know that it's all, I saw this coming, but you are
I
way
didn't see
stronger
it.
than you think. Sorry?
I didn't see it coming. I didn't see the tears coming.
It's bound to happen. It's always bound to happen because so here is the thing, right? That he was a part of you, right? He's been a part of you, and then something happened and he's no longer there. So the pain is not like he's going to just disappear and you forget about him. There'll still be things like,
I
so
can't hear you
personally,
anymore.
oh my God, can you hear me? Can you
Hello?
hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know why this is happening again. Let me see. Can you hear me
I
now?
can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Me, I can hear you loud and clear. I don't know why you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Is my video frozen or something?
You're back now. Sorry?
I
You're
was
back
asking if my
now.
video was
Yeah, you're
back
frozen
now.
as
Okay.
well.
You can hear me now?
Yes, okay, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
someone says, may God continue to comfort you and strengthen you. You are
Yeah.
doing a great job, and may your desires for the organization come to pass. In Jesus' name.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kemi. Thank you for doing this. You're doing an
Okay.
amazing job. Thank you. And
Thank
I
you.
pray this
Thank you very
foundation
much.
in every state in Nigeria.
Amen.
You're going places because we don't have a lot of this. And like I
Mm,
said before, maybe because I've tasted this, personally, I can totally relate with what it is that you're doing and the challenges
yeah.
that you possibly face. But well done, well done, well done,
Thank you. Thank you so
well done.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. God bless you.
Thank
Hope to see
you.
you next month. Thank you. Oh yeah, don't forget the conference, 14th of September 2024. It's going to be hybrid, so it's in person and we're also going to stream online. It's free, but you have to register to join. We will talk about more of this type of things. We'll hear from other people's stories as well, and we will give you tools, practical tools, first-hand experience, things that we who have been able to overcome the adversity that we have been through, things we did to come out of it to now be who we are now. Things happen to us and we freeze. We just think that's the end of life. We don't know how to move past it. We don't know. We just remain stuck. So here's the thing: things happen to us, right? And then we just remain stuck in that situation in that place. Sometimes we don't even realize that we have frozen in that instance at that time that the thing happened. We'll just keep doing life, not realizing that we are stuck somewhere. I hope that makes sense. We'll break it down properly on the 14th of September, you know. So hope to see you. Register. You have to register, but it's free to attend. It's free to join online as well. Thank you. And please follow Kemi. Our foundation is, I think I put the website. Please support as well. How
Thank
is
you.
this? Can everyone else hear me? Kemi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes,
Okay,
I can
okay.
hear you.
So I already shared the website to the foundation. So please donate, please support. A lot of these children need our support. So please support to help us join this cause. We'll be saving lives, helping people. Um, so yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Remember that knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is what is power. We can know everything, but if we don't apply it, it's not going to change anything in our lives. And remember that the meaning you give to a situation is what either empowers you or disempowers you, right? So change your meaning, change your life, right? All right, then. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Have a great
Thank
rest of the
you.
weekend. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Kemi. All right,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.